the day, it's really simple. Human lives are more valuable than animal lives. That's all there is to it.
Give him a break, give him a break, you gotta give him a break, man. Give him a flake, you got to give him a flake, man. Victor will teach you about all the things in Japan that you want to see.
So we're walking.
You won't believe. So give him a break.
It's a girl, it's a female. Okay, ready? Well, I'm gonna get a drink. Oh, okay. Good idea. Right now, don't drink that crap. How this is about you? You can do.
Give him a flake, you got to give him a flake, man. Victor will teach you about all the things in Japan that you wanted to see, and some things you won't believe. So give him a break.
Good. Okay, so check this out, Vic. There's a YouTuber. His name is Daigo. Okay. So he's a mentalist. That means he thinks he can control people's minds and stuff. I don't know. I've never watched his video actually. Right. But okay. I want to tell you. Let me ask you a question, okay? Whose life is more important? A human or a dog? Human, yeah. How about a human or a cat? Human, right?
Human.
Okay. So, this guy on TV, on YouTube, his name is Daigo, he said he doesn't, you know, when we shop, when we buy something, we pay a little money to the government. That's called tax. Okay, and he says his taxes don't go for paying for, like, hogosha or people on welfare. People get money from the government, like homeless people. Yeah, change. Yeah. So for example, if you can't work, the public works, right? I go to work, but some people can't work, so they have a handicap, like they're missing a leg or something, or they can't work, so they stay home, right? So the government gives them money. Okay. So this guy Daigo, he said he doesn't want to pay any money for those people. He said cats' lives are more important. What do you think of that? Yeah. So it's pretty simple. So a couple days ago, a guy named Daigo on YouTube, he's a big YouTuber, huge YouTuber. I've never watched him, but his name is huge. I've come across his videos. He's got a pretty cool background with all these books in it. And I guess he's some kind of intellectual or pseudo-psychological, control your mind. I don't know, actually. It's not important. Here's what is important. What's interesting is that he said that basically he prefers to pay money for cats. In fact, I will read you what he said. He said, 僕は生活保護の人たちにお金を払うために税金を納めてるんじゃないからね. Because basically, I'm not paying tax to take care of people on welfare or homeless people. Okay? 生活保護の人たちに食わせる金があるんだったら猫を救ってほしいと僕はと思うんだけど. So he says if we have enough money to feed people on welfare or homeless people, then we should have enough money to save cats, right? Okay? 生活保護の人生きてても僕は別に得しないけどさ、猫を生きてれば得なんで. So, translation, I get nothing out of people on welfare or homeless people living, but I get something out of cats living. So this is a ridiculous thing to say. And here's the thing about what are you doing, man? Here's the thing about Daigo that I thought was interesting and stupid at the same time. He's supposed to be a mentalist, right? So he's supposed to know people's minds, right? But then he should know better than to say something this stupid publicly. Now, I actually think he believes what he's saying. Like, he hasn't put much thought into it. And I think it's an idealistic thing, idealistic idea, because animals are perfect in a way. Animals carry no sin, you know. So when you look at an animal, animals provide us a lot of comfort, especially when we're young. Maybe he had a cat. I guess he has cats. From what I've heard, I think he has cats. By the way, your pets are not the same as having children. For all of those people out there who think your pets are children, they're not. Believe me, they're very, very different. Drink your water. But when you're young, when I was young, I had a couple dogs, right? I had a big German Shepherd and a mutt before that called Bernie, and then Max, my German Shepherd, and then Jeffy. Good dogs in my family my whole life, and you know when you're upset, and Maggie later. You don't know Maggie. You weren't alive yet. Before I had this animal, we had Maggie. But they've always brought me comfort, and they're perfect. You know, when you're upset, when the world has betrayed you. I remember being a teenager growing, you know, teenage years are the worst years, right? In a way, sometimes psychological, emotionally. I would go out to the yard and hug my German Shepherd and cry in his fur, okay, when I was upset. When I was an upset boy, 14 years old or whatever. And I remember thinking when I was younger that I think I'd rather kill a human being than an animal. I could never kill an animal. It would be easier to kill a human being. I had this crazy idealistic thought about that. Vic, where you going? Hey, come back. So he's not stupid, but still, you worry. Of course, if it were a dog, I'd be running after it like, no, stupid! Dogs are much stupider than humans. Anyway, so I understand the idealistic feeling to maybe rate or value animals over humans. But I grew out of it, right? A little bit later in life, I realized I had a dream one day. You know, when I was a little bit later, I had a dream that I killed someone. And it really shook me up. Like it was really vivid. I woke up like, oh my God, I can never kill anyone. I didn't kill anybody. It was just a dream. Yaba. He said yabai. But here's the funny thing about this Daigo guy. So he created this big controversy in Japan now. And actually a very good debate about the way Japanese people see homeless people. And it's really interesting because they really look down. I think a lot of people look down on homeless people. And I had two wonderful women in my class yesterday. Really nice people. They both have dogs. And I posed the question to them, would you sacrifice your dog if you knew it would save the life of a homeless person? And one of them kind of didn't answer, but the other one said, a homeless person? No. Which just showed you the kind of prejudice that exists out there. What she was implying basically was that homeless people are less than normal people, so to speak. So I don't like using those words. But what's really interesting to me is that in Japan, homeless people are not the nuisance that they are. Well, I don't even know, that's probably not the right word to use. Not PC, but they don't cause as many problems to society at large as they do in the States, from my memories. And when I go back to the States, right? When you go back to the States, people are begging, asking for money. Just a minute, buddy. Almost. Drink your water. We still got some money. We'll go to the store later, okay? Before I take him to the store sometimes before class. You want to go over there? Okay, we'll go there. We can do that now. You want to go there now? As we walk? Come on, grab your drink. So, in America, homeless people are begging, asking for money, and causing problems like that. They're much more confrontational, more aggressive. They get in your face, Not all of them, of course, but some of them. But in Japan, that's almost unheard of. It's very rare that a homeless person will do anything but keep to himself. In Japan, at least in Nagoya, I don't know Tokyo, but I've been to Tokyo. I've never been confronted by a homeless person. They keep to themselves. They pick up cans. they fend for themselves, you know. There are community outreach programs here in Nagoya where homeless people go and get meals, and those are Christian and volunteer groups, not just Christian, but anyway, the point is, there's no reason for your average Japanese person to hate a homeless person. However, I have heard from non-homeless Japanese that they don't like, you know, homeless people. They find them eyesores, and that's the worst you can say about them. But despite that, I think the negative or the prejudice against homeless people is much stronger here than it is in the States, from what I've seen. Which is baffling to me. I think Japanese are really spoiled in that sense, in that they have no idea how good they've got it, because, man, the homeless people in the States are much more aggressive, you know. They're always asking you for money. Anyway. So, anyway, it was an interesting it was an interesting experiment, I guess, or a lesson to be learned. Honestly, I think in general a lot of Japanese are really overly cold to homeless people, and they do have a kind of discrimination against them. The discussion, from what I can tell online, was that your average welfare recipient gets about 150,000 yen a month, which is just a little bit less than you would earn if you had a real job at minimum wage. So some people can see how that is that discourages people from working, right? That's not an incentive to work. But that's not really the homeless person's problem. It's society's problem. One of the other students in class told me about her neighbors who are both on welfare, and they were both kind of a pain in the ass in the neighborhood. And they both play pachinko every day. They went out and gambled on their welfare money every day, which is not a good thing. But of course, there are welfare cheats everywhere in the world. But there are other people who literally, who sincerely need that money. And at the end of the day, ready, we're gonna cross the road, ready? Come on. At the end of the day, it's really simple. Human lives are more valuable than animal lives. That's all there is to it. And it's ridiculous to even suggest otherwise. You know, be careful, we humans eat animals. Come on, all the time. It's not even a question. It's specious, you can argue. And it's not ideal, but that's the way it is. And if Daigo were intelligent, well, maybe he's just immature. But anyone who says otherwise, why? He's just immature. I'm wrong. It's a simple fact. Get it ready? No, come on. The other thing that was interesting was that I think a few people that I asked, would you sacrifice your pet for a human being? Yeah. Puddle's gone. There used to be puddles here. But you might say, well, you wouldn't do it either, Victor. But actually, if you gave me a choice, like if you said sacrificing Maggie's life would save a human being's life, I would have to say that I have no choice. You know, yeah, I wouldn't be happy with the decision, but it's the only decision you can make. You've got to value human lives over animal lives, and we've got to value homeless people. I mean, the discrimination against them is just a shame, but it exists. What is that? Okay. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Daigo scandal controversy. Hope you enjoyed a little talk. Hey, Vic, what do you say to the camera? Let's say goodbye now.
Goodbye.
And what else?
Thank you for watching.
Look at the camera.
Bye.
One more time.
Thank you for watching. Bye. Bye. Yeah, bye. セミも一緒に撮ったんだ。
Thank you.